And here we go. Welcome to episode 15 of the Huddle, coming to you live on the Blue Bombers YouTube page every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell. We need the subscribers. We need the support. I'm your host, Ed Tait of BlueBombers.com, and we're thrilled to be joined this week. This is a special episode. That's why we're in a special site. We've got two guests this week. The lovely and talented Drew Wolitarsky, receiver, and the lovely and talented Chris Streveler, quarterback. Two buddies from way back in the day.
I don't know about lovely.
Okay, appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Appreciate
Always a
you.
pleasure, man.
Right
Second time on for me. I'm excited to be
Yes,
here.
right.
Let's go.
When you get to the 5 times, we don't do the jacket like SNL, but we'll do something for you. Right on. Okay, so listen, appreciate you guys joining us. I know it's always a busy week, so whenever you guys pop in here to do this, we really, really appreciate it because we're asking you to give up some time during a prep week. So that's cool that we've been asking for you two for a while, so I appreciate it. Okay, so we always start the show with the section we call the Coors Light Chill Chat. We have a sponsor now. And what we do in this segment, Coors Light,
Big time.
is it's a kind of a Q&A to get to know you guys a little bit better. And this segment, of course, is brought to you by Coors Light, the official beer of the Blue Bombers, and we have a word from our sponsor.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light, the chill choice.
My favorite's always Vancouver. Like, I love going there. It's a beautiful city, good food. Like, I like being there.
What is it about people, the street performers and snakes? I was with Chris in Vancouver, our athletic therapist.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
And we're
Why would he be with the center?
we're walking down the street, and a lady's got a big white boa constrictor.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It might have been some
And,
woman.
and I'm a snake guy. Like, I had a pet snake.
I know.
But like
at the bus stop?
I'm not trying to pet your snake on the corner of the street
No,
in Hamilton.
no.
Like, I don't know what I'm getting into here. Like,
They sense fear. You're like, I'm scared.
hey,
bro, so.
I'm actually gonna be out tomorrow. I just got bit by a snake in
I
Hamilton.
drop my arm off. Like,
That would be different to show up on the injury report, right? Snake
know
bite,
what
day
you're
to
saying,
day.
bro.
Okay. So next question. Olympics start this weekend. I'm a big Olympics fan. I love the Olympics. It's so cool.
Yeah, there's-
If I'll start with you, Streb. If you were going to compete in any Olympic sport, what would it be?
Badminton. Badminton. When I was in college, I took badminton. I was a kinesiology major. You got to get a certain amount of PE credits. Won the class championship. And I'm talking there was like kids from Korea in the class. Like there was legit talent in that badminton class. Won the class tournament. I'm standing on the table. I think I could do well.
Wow.
I love it. It's fun.
I did not expect that.
It's fun, yeah.
I figured you'd come up with some sort of decathlon event or something.
I mean,
Badminton.
see
probably
that
psycho
for
enough to
Strev.
do it, but badminton, I've got experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say this about Strev though, like this dude's like willpower is insane. Like we were talking about this the other day, but there's this thing called the beeper test in college, right?
Yeah.
And basically what it is an endurance test, and you run till you can't run anymore, okay? And you're timed, so like if you don't make the time, you're done, okay? So we had like running backs in this thing who would go out within like 4 reps, right? So like you could totally on your own pace like get yourself out or not try at all. This dude would be at like the max level, and the whole team would be like, "Let's go, Strav, let's go!" Like everyone's done, and he's been going for like 20 more minutes. Like it's just insane.
Wow.
So badminton definitely caught me off guard too. I was gonna say some crazy like.
Yeah.
I could see the decathlon. For me personally, I always looked at this event growing up and thought it was the trippiest event. But like you're on skis and you have a rifle on your back, and you're like skiing to a spot. You lay down, shoot a target, and keep going. Like that's. I feel like that's something I would have done growing up if I lived in the snow, because I'm outside anyway with my airsoft guns in the rain, like pretending I'm on a mission as a kid, shooting like cans off the house, bro.
Okay, well, that's a winter sport. What about summer?
Oh, that's a winter sport?
Yeah.
It's summer? Oh, yeah. Okay.
The cool thing about that winter sport, though, is they put the heart rate trackers on them, and like their heart rate gets higher when they're skiing, and then they have to slow their heart rate down and slow their breathing down when they're shooting, so it's stable. So it's like that's really cool to watch when they do that.
Okay, so now you got to pick a summer one.
And honestly, anything that I don't have to run, because I can't run right now. I don't feel good. Like I need like something I could bowl maybe or something. Is that summer sport?
Yeah, yeah.
Bowling,
Yeah.
I don't
swimming.
think bowling's
Swimming could be,
Olympic.
if I was good, like swimming would be sick. But I'm so dense, bro. Like my legs just sink in the water.
You're a
bro.
fullback, bro.
Yeah. Even at the float tanks, like my legs are like.
So you don't have a summer sport.
I
Because
guess I'll
bowling
just-
is not an Olympic sport.
I guess I'll just keep
Is
playing.
bowling
football,
Olympic
maybe.
It
sport?
might be. I'm
Can we
not
check
sure.
that?
Josh,
We got three guys in
fact
here.
checks over
we
here.
need to
Yeah,
check.
one moment.
Josh is our producer
Summer bowling?
extraordinaire. who
You
does
guys
this
continue on.
Okay.
I'll check the bowling situation.
So this was still staying with the Olympics. Like
Okay.
I said, I'm a junkie. It's not. Bowling's
out,
not.
man.
Wait
Bowling
a
is
minute.
not an
I'm out of the
Olympic
Olympics,
sport.
bro.
Isn't
You're out.
isn't 3-on-3
You're a winter
basketball
guy.
even now
I'm
one?
a winter Olympics guy, bro.
Okay. All right.
Luge.
What's your favorite Olympic sport to watch? Like if it's popping up and you have a moment to watch something, what will you?
Kind of like the curling. It's a weird sport.
No,
but
it's
I
a
like
winter
it.
one. The summer.
I know, but I don't even have a
in.
TV at my house. That's Trev. I don't have a
He
TV.
doesn't have a
bro.
TV in his house.
I don't have a TV.
We just sit in the
I
living room.
haven't
He
even
just
watched
plays guitar.
TV in years, bro.
Okay, well that's going to eliminate
Is
a
it on, if
question
it's
coming
not
up
on
here.
Netflix,
but-
yeah, I haven't seen it.
All right.
I enjoy the gymnastics. I think it's super impressive,
No,
but I
yeah.
also love like the 100-meter dash. Like that's electric. Those are some of the best athletes in the world. It's always fun to watch.
Okay.
I would say track then too. That track is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in the world, but I don't even have a TV.
Okay.
I'm a hermit.
Dialed in on
I
football.
was going to ask you. Here's one of the
Okay, ask me
questions.
a question
Favorite
anyway.
TV show, but
Okay, no, but like I watched some shows on Netflix. I've really been into some of my tops. I like Mr. Robot a lot. That was a trippy show.
Yeah.
I like Vikings right now. Like definitely on the
Vikings is
Vikings,
huge.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, love it.
Good show.
Yeah, like Breaking Bad, all those shows. Lost, I used to love those. Any of mind thrillers. I'm a big mind psychological thriller guy.
okay.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, all time.
Yeah.
Ozarks, like I like kind of dark, like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Game of Thrones is all time. I'm saving. Me and my girl watched House of Dragons last year. We saw the first episode, and I refuse to get Crave. I refuse to pay for another subscription. So I'm waiting until I go home for bye week. We're gonna binge the House of Dragons. So I'm excited to watch that one.
Okay, just going to eliminate Crave as a
Yeah,
potential
Crave
sponsor.
is out. Sorry, Crave.
Sorry, Crave.
I just signed
Sorry.
up for
Unless
it.
they want to pay, then I'm all in.
Yeah, those are good. Two real good. I love the crime ones too. Those are good choices. Okay, Strav, I'll start with you on
Yeah.
this one. Best piece of advice you've ever been given. Maybe I asked you this on the last one, but I'll ask you
man.
again.
Oh, that's tough. dude.
I could go on this one. Look, I mean, it's the simplest one, and I don't want to go down my whole mindset thing, but it's be good to people and work hard. That's basically the motto I live my life by. Whenever I'm frustrated, I always just turn to just work harder and just go harder. That's the easiest way to take your frustrations out. And if you're good to people, I just believe what you put out in the world's coming back to you. So that's kind of how I live my life.
Yeah, that's solid.
What you need the most is what you have to give the most. Yeah. That's just carried me.
Where did you get that from?
Honestly, I don't remember.
It's
But
the same
like,
thing
but
as
the message is this there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's from like my dad, or I don't even know, bro. I just know it.
So explain it to what it means to you then. How do
Okay,
you-
so let's just give an example, okay? So say you're in the fourth quarter, you're behind, your team is like just what you need is someone to be like, let's go, we got this, we're gonna win, You need that. But no one's giving that to you, right? So what it kind of is like, if no one's gonna be that, and then I need to give that to myself, and I know someone out there is needing this too. So like to do that and be that voice and just get over that like fear of like, well, what if they don't care of what I say, or that fear in your head. It's like, you know what, this is what I need to hear. So I know somebody else needs to hear it. And when you do that and when you give that, you receive that in the same time.
Yeah, so it's even self-motivation and maybe spreading it.
It is.
Yeah,
It
okay,
is. It
cool.
is.
I like
Energy's
that.
contagious,
It
bro.
is.
Like stuff like that, energy's contagious. And one thing about you is everyone feels it, is you are unapologetically yourself. And I think that's why people gravitate towards you, because you're so genuine and true to yourself. And people feel that genuineness, that authenticity, and that energy. And so when you give that out, people feel that, and it brings them out of their shell, and it just lifts the energy of people around you. So it's cool.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I have to say the same with you too, man. That's why we're like on the field, like you just feel that energy, bro. And I've said that to you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are pretty honest with yourselves and everything, and I appreciate that about you too. Okay, so I'll start with you, Drew. Do you have a cheat meal?
I got a couple.
Chocolate bit bookies.
I got a couple. My wife's a great baker, man. I gotta hype her up right now. She made 350 cookies last week for the team. 350. One
Literally.
oven. I'm
This
paying
man brought in a pallet of cookies.
A pallet. I had to come in with a pallet of boxes. Like she keeps
What kind?
Oh man, chocolate chunk, double chocolate. We had last week s'mores, dude. Funfetti.
Double chocolate. It's
The
there.
boys were eating good last week, man. The boys were eating. We got a lot of energy, a lot of stored up fat for this week, man. We're gonna be good.
Good.
But what was the question? My favorite treat? A cheat meal?
Cheat meal, or yeah.
Dude, yeah. Like, I mean, Joey's after the game. I wouldn't even say it's a cheat meal, but that's just a meal I look forward to. Like after a win, bro, going to Joey's, just balling out, getting a glass of wine, steak,
Chicken parm.
ravioli.
Chicken parm.
Oh
got
man,
a
a
good
dessert at the end. Like you gotta treat yourself, bro. That's a meal I look forward to every week.
Okay, Chris.
It's a tough question. I don't get off track too often, but I do love a good Joey's chicken parm after the game. I get the wings, and I have had a couple of Savannah's cookies. They're very good. So if you get the chance to get your hands on some, Ed, we might have to bring you
Bombers
a box
fans,
next
Bombers
week when she makes
fans.
them.
Okay.
If you get a
Yeah,
chance,
hey, that's a plug, Wally.
Shout out. If you need some cookies, my wife, you know where to find her. Instagram.
Do either
Brought
of you
to
guys?
you by Savannah's Cookies. Run the ad.
That's a new sponsor. There we go. Do either of you guys cook?
Yeah, I mean, I can, but I mean, my wife really does it for me. But she's a great woman.
I'm a bit of a cook. I got a great chicken taco recipe.
Griller. Great chicken taco.
I've been making this for probably, I don't know, 6-7 years. It's gotten pretty dialed in. So I got a good chicken taco recipe. Got a steak taco recipe. I love getting on the grill. Like it's just, I like being outside. I like the smell of it.
Yep.
If I have charcoal, obviously that's the best way to go. You get that smoky flavor, but we can make propane work too. So you need some good chicken tacos. I got a
I
solid
can attest to
recipe.
that. Yep, those are fire. I can attest. I had eight tacos at his house in Arizona.
Yeah, he literally ate 8. It was unbelievable.
Tacos, biggies.
Well, I
Dickies.
mean, how big are they? Let's see.
No, they're pretty big.
Okay.
I mean,
And-
just a regular corn tortilla.
Bro,
but
you
like-
know the chicken's good when you're eating the chicken out of the bowl like Skittles. Like you're just like eating
Dude, he
chicken
comes up-
bites.
He's like, dude, I just ate like a handful of chicken, like it was like M&Ms or something, bro. I'm just eating it like it's candy.
Just an hors d'oeuvre, dude.
We got to do a cooking show, Josh. Can we get that? Okay.
Chicken tacos for a show. We're in.
tacos.
We're locked
where,
in.
Where you guys make it in front of the
Yeah,
like a
absolutely.
regular
You just breathe in the fumes in the room. Bro.
Yeah, Food Network kind of show. Okay, let's move on to the next segment because you guys have kind of hinted at it already. Would you guys say, because you've known each other for so long, that it's a bromance, right? When you say it's a bromance,
I never
brother-
thought about it
it's a
like
brotherhood.
that, but
yeah,
brother.
we're brothers.
That's a better
Brothers.
word.
Yeah.
I know this man. I said this. No offense to my brothers. I love y'all, but I know this man better than my own brothers, bro. Like we just been through every single situation, and we're roommates, bro.
Yeah.
On the road,
Yeah.
that room is crazy stinky, bro.
We did have to bring a candle for
bring
the
a
last
candle
road,
on the road
legit
trip.
packed a candle for the last
Really?
road trip
Yeah,
because
man.
it
Just
gets
gets
stanky.
stanky.
Game day, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of But yeah, I mean, we've grown up together. Like
Yeah.
we were talking about this the other day. Like, you know, you meet when you're 18 in college, you go through that together. You kind of, you know, go our own way, and then we're back in Winnipeg when we're in our early 20s. We go our own way. Now we're in our late 20s with you know, girlfriends and kids on the way, and just, you know, all of that. So we've gone through so many life phases together. You just, when you grow together with someone, you just learn them, and we're together every day at work too, and that's something I think for both of us.
awesome.
We this third time around being together, we don't take it for granted. Like every day, getting to come to work with this guy who I love like a brother, and I just don't take those days for granted, man. It's a special thing to get to work with your best friend, and it's really cool. So we don't take that for granted, man.
So, were you coming into the University of Minnesota at the same time, or was one of you already?
He was there for spring ball. He had been there only 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, I graduated high school early, so
right.
I went in the winter. We're the same age, same class. I just went a semester early, and then he got there, and like the rest of the class got
What do you
there.
remember about the first time you kind of?
I mean, this is, we just, on the ride back from, the last game, like, we legit were, like, reminiscing for, like, the whole flight home. It wasn't a long flight necessarily, but it was, like, a good hour and a half. But we were just talking, and it's like, bro, when I first got to Minnesota, I remember, like, seeing Strev. He already was there. Like, he had done spring ball. And, like, this dude was, like, the most mentally strong person I'd ever met in my life. I was like, this dude's built differently mentally, bro. And, like, I mean, I'm talking, like, he's in the stadium when no one else is doing stuff. He's doing extra work. He's grinding to, like, play receiver maybe or quarterback. He don't even know at that point. And I'm over here, like, playing video games, like, eating cake at 8 a.m., drinking root beers. Like, it's just, like, I definitely didn't have, like, that tenacity and that grit. And I had to learn that differently at a different time. Like, I was in the opposite spectrum of, like, I'm going to play so loose, but, like, I'm going to be too loose maybe. And so, like, it's funny because it really is a yin and yang situation going on here. Like, and we've both gotten better in different areas, but, like, we started, like, here, and we both had to find our way here in different ways now. Yeah. So we were laughing about that. Like, I think both of us needed to, like, see the other person and how they operated, or, like, understand how somebody with a totally different mindset can still do it and, like, take bits and pieces. And we've done that with everybody. We've done that with vets here, and I've we've studied guys who've made it, and how do they become pros? How do they make it work? What do they do that I don't do? And you kind of just pick and choose what you like and what you don't like, and that's what we do, bro. And to have someone close to you like that, and to be able to watch them very closely, it made me a better player, and at the end of the day, yeah, a better friend, bro.
Well, then, so how did you connect? Because if you're on two different spectrums, and he's having cake and root beer at 8 a.m., which sounds good, by the way.
It was after a workout.
It's a legit, like, okay, so that story he's talking about, one day,
every day
we get done with running, and it was like somebody's birthday or something like that. So, of course, we're in the players' lounge. They've got, like, a cake and, like, some 2 liters of root beer and Dr. Pepper. Dude, we just finished the running. This man goes up, and I didn't see it. I just come back to the apartment afterwards. This man's got a whole cake and a 2 liter of root beer sitting there. We just finished running. I'm like, brother, we just finished working out, smashing cake and root beer, and so I always give him a hard time about that story because it's hilarious, and, like, to think about how far he's come and we've come. I think what he's trying to talk about is, like, finding that balance in your mindset. Is like, when I got to Minnesota, I was, and I still am, but I found the balance in my life of, like, I was so focused and put so much pressure on myself to, like, be great. And, like, my whole life revolved around it. Like he mentioned, like, I'm going to the facility at, like, 8 p.m. to go throw and, like, get extra work. And he was on the other end where, like, he had a lot of success in high school and got to play early in college. So he thought it was, like, easier, right? So, like, my grind was always, like, I got to try to get an opportunity. I never really played. And he played early and probably let his foot off the gas. So we found that balance in our career and our mindset of, okay, I can take some pressure off myself and, like, find the offset in my life while still being extremely focused when I'm at work, but have some sort of offset. And him finding that balance of, like, okay, I can't be eating cake and drinking root beer at 8 a.m. Like, I gotta, there's a standard, right? We found that balance in our career, and it's just been cool to see, like, both of our growth and ultimately becoming professionals.
Yeah,
real talk.
It's kind of cool how you kind of made each other better than at, like, that critical age when you're first going to school, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Were you guys roommates right away?
We had basically, like, a mutual friend who, like, I met kind of Strev through, I would say, like, Alex Mays. Like, I was always...
Well, he was a teammate. He was one of our teammates, and he was my roommate, and then Wally stayed in, like, the dorm down the hallway or whatever. But we were always hanging out. And then after freshman year, me, Wally, and a couple other guys on the team moved into a house together, and we lived there for a year or two, and then I transferred. And
How hard was it when he left?
Oh, man. It was like when he left here, bro. It's different, you know? And what I appreciated is, like, when he left, I felt like I had to step up and be a better leader, bro. And like, I feel like that was kind of the time when he left junior year where I had a very real conversation with my receiver coach. And I basically had to make a choice. Like, am I going to just fall off right now? Or am I going to change the way I work, change my mindset, stop feeling bad for myself, and like go do this thing? And I made that choice consciously to like change my fate in a sense, and it made all the world a difference. So like meeting back up in 2018, like I could tell Strev was a different guy. Like I told him, like, you seem more confident, like more sure of yourself, because he went out and balled, you know, and got to play and like be in those high stress situations and like confirm with himself and validate to himself, like, hey, it all does pay off. Like I just needed that shot, you know? So like it was cool to see each other and see how we both have grown and both come into our own and like taken responsibility kind of our lives in a sense.
Well, it's a cool story how you, Drew, ended up in Winnipeg as the supplemental draft and the Canadian citizenship and all that stuff. So you were here first.
Yeah.
When Winnipeg started showing interest in you, where obviously you're calling him, hey, what's
yeah.
it like, right?
yeah.
Getting a scouting report.
Yeah, I mean, I've told the story a million times, but like Lapo calls me. I'm graduating college, and he's like, "Hey, I'm with Winnipeg." I'm like, "Dude, I think Wally's with Winnipeg." So I think I called you or texted you, and I was like, "Winnipeg said they've got my rights. I don't know what's going on." But the cool thing for me was like coming up and like having someone you have a good relationship with be on the team and know the ropes, and that made it a lot easier for me to fit in with the team and like, you know, get acclimated with the guys. Like I just remember that first camp, you know, going Riverside with the guys and growing out with Darv and like to have that dude who was already in the room and knew the guys and kind of had that connection. It made it a lot easier for me to settle in and get comfortable. And I think it's a part of the reason why I had success in that first preseason, having someone that knew me, knew what I was about, and helped me get more comfortable early on. It was really important and probably great for my career early on.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was your first year. This is the story I always tell about you guys and your energy, because so I knew you'd been with the team for a year. We've interviewed you probably a dozen times that first year. And then you come in and things change in a hurry at the camp. And then we're going to a game in Hamilton and we're on the little bus because you guys both have interviews.
I remember that.
And just I guess the wonderment in your eyes, the two of you were driving into Hamilton and you say, hey, this looks like Pittsburgh. And you guys are just so wound up and
energy.
excited. Yeah, young energy. That's the right term. And it's just, you guys still bring that. It's cool.
That was an exciting time for us too, because it was like, you know, in Edmonton, that first game, my first start of my career, threw him his first touchdown pass. We were starting to like, okay, get on the field. And then we played Montreal and had a great game. I threw him another 2. And we're like, oh my gosh, like we're not only are we playing, like we're playing well right now. And now we're getting to go do interviews and like that was actually the same trip as the snake lady on the side of the road. But
snake trip, bro.
But yeah, it was just kind of cool to like grow up in this game together, man, and like and become professionals together, and then to think where we are now, it's cool to see that growth.
It's really wild too how things work sometimes, because I mean Winnipeg had drafted you in the supplemental draft, and then as you said, Lapo called you and said we have your rights. I'm not sure if someone connected the dots and said, hey,
I don't think so.
You know, and so it could have been any team
crazy.
that has your and so it reconnected.
Even the way I came up here, like I remember Osh sitting me down when I got here, and he was like, hey man, like I've just like heard that you were a leader of your team in Minnesota, and like we need some of that here in that room specifically. He's like, obviously you're not going to be that right now, but like that's something that we're looking for you to do. So like if I hadn't made that choice, you know, in my career to be a leader to my guys and like step up in that area, like maybe I wouldn't even had a chance here. You know, like I think that attracted Mike to like bring me in here. You know what I'm saying? So for me to even get here, for him to like have his rights owned, like it just is like a testament to like, bro, just keep going, just keep trusting. And like things are gonna fall into that place, man. Yeah. If you allow them and let them, and like just worry and focus on your craft, your life, like where it's going, and just accept the responsibility, 1, and the opportunity, number 2.
Yeah, you guys know how it works too. Like I got buddies from college and high school that's going way back, people I know from my first few jobs, and you're tight with them in the moment, and then you drift apart. So it's kind of cool how, like your kind of friendship's kind of way stronger, right? Because I mean he's going across the country, the world, to get to your wedding. That says everything about where you guys are, right?
And the thing is, like, we're just kind of people who, you know, we know the bond we have, and like I never fear when he's away or gone, like that will ever change. You know, like I obviously know we're both people who grind, and we're gonna go hustle, and we're gonna be working, we're gonna be busy. Like we're not gonna talk all the time. I only like being on my phone, really. Outside, you know, like when I'm somewhere, I want to be present, bro. And I mean, so, like a guy like Zach too, like you can't reach that guy because he's just constantly present, bro. Like he didn't have people's numbers, saved, or like he didn't know where his phone was for a while. He just was like, whatever. Like,
Is that right?
it's just like, that's just the kind of guys we have, like ultimate present guys. And like, I think that helps us on the field too. But going back to that, like I never worry, about the friendship and all that. Like if we ever link up again, like I just know it's going to be like riding a bike, bro. Like take off where we left off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been like that. And the when you came out to Arizona this offseason, it was cool because hadn't seen you in a little while, right? And you come out.
Yeah.
I saw you over Banjo Bowl when I came up,
Yeah.
and that was great to obviously reconnect and have some time. But then you come out and like we get to spend some real time together, get to be around Lenny, and like our girls kind of hit it off, which as we all know, like if the girlfriends and wives are getting along, like okay, game on, like green light, we can all hang out now. So
We're good.
So yeah,
We're
that was like cool.
Hallelujah.
And then we find out they're getting married in Australia, and like both of our girls are such like they got the travel bug. Like, and if there's ever an opportunity to take a trip, like they're going to be pressing the button like let's take this trip. And so I remember it was late, like it was like December, like getting into early January, and I kind of told my girl, I planted the seed. I'm like, well, it's not a no. Let me see what my credit card miles look like. And I like finally looked it up one day. I'm like, I have enough points to make these flights work. And so I'm like, it's one of those things where you never regret taking that trip, And so I told my girl, I'm like, I got enough credit card miles. Let's make it happen. Within like a day, she's got the whole trip planned out.
She had it on lock, like just submit. Boom.
And plus,
bought.
like, I knew I was going to come up here. Like, I found that news out, I think, early January. So I'm like, okay, we're going to be together this year. Let's let our girls continue to build a good friendship. And, like, it's just going to be a great year. So it just all aligned perfectly. It's such a cool experience to get to go out there.
What was the name of that town again?
Dunsborough.
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 And then how did you pick that? Like that's
She picked it, bro. So it's like south of Perth, about 3-hour drive. And she basically went out there. She had a pen pal for like 18 years, bro. And
It's actually a crazy story.
She had a pen pal on Facebook. Like she was looking for a pen pal. She found this girl from Western Australia. Her name's Caitlin Tishhauser. And they've been writing each other for like years. Like these girls have like gone through their whole lives together. Like she met this woman before she had kids. Now she has 4 kids, bro. And so like they've gone through life experiences together, wrote each other. And like for the first time, Caitlin was to my now wife. It was like, hey, like we need my friend needs a nanny out here in Western Australia. Like, do you want to do it? My girl's like, hell yeah. Quit her job that day, was like gone the next week. Like that's travel bug, bro. She was just like, yeah. So she goes out, lives out here in Australia for like a year and a half, just being a nanny. She's like, it was the easiest job of my life. I would literally like be with the kids during the day, and then I could just bounce and like go to the water, like et cetera, et cetera. Fell in love with this place. And our whole relationship, like leading up, she's like, I need to take you to Dunsborough. Like you need to go to Western Australia. And in my mind, I'm like, bro, like that's across the globe. I'm probably not going to go there for a long time. And then when we wanted to get married, I proposed, and like we wanted to get married the next year. She's like, California, and we looked at all the prices and all that. We were like, I don't know. I don't want to have 100 people and like have to pay for all this money. Like there's no way. Yeah. She's like, what if we went to Australia? And I was like, it's going to be tough to get my parents out there, but like I'm down. And we ended up doing it, bro. She pulled trigger on it. That's how we ended up there.
Well, I remember when you resigned in January, I talked to you on the phone, and you said you had just found out, I think that day or that week, that he was going to fly out there.
I think when you called me, it was the re-signing, right?
Yeah.
And I was in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And you called me, and I was like, Strev is like just basically pulled trigger. He's coming to my wedding, bro. So this is gonna be crazy.
What was that like then? You said when we had you on earlier that you felt like you had to go in a way, right?
I didn't feel like I had to go, but like again, this is an opportunity to be there for one of your best friends, and like I knew that his parents were going, but his siblings weren't going, and he told me, he's like, dude, you'll be my best man, and I'm like,
cool.
This is an opportunity that doesn't come around to not only go to an amazing place, but support somebody you love, right? And so when I got that, I'm like, I just got to make this happen. And I'm so glad I did. Like, you kind of glossed over it, but Dunsborough is one of the most amazing places I've ever been. Like, it's a small town, and the downtown's cute, but the beaches are unbelievable, and there's so many. And it's not a big town, so, like, you pull up to this beach, and this big, massive beach with, like, it's flour for sand. Like this stuff is so soft, and there's 6 people on the beach. Like it's literally just you. That's and I mean, crazy. Like just a place like that, I've never been, and I think you're planning to go back.
We already booked our trip. Yeah,
Yeah, like they're going back out there this off season, like, so it's amazing.
Well, see, there should be another sponsorship here then for tourism Western Australia, because we had Jamison Sheehan on too, and he was raving about stuff. So we've done a lot of plugs for Australia here. That's
big plugs, man. Big plugs. We got a lot of Aussies in the league right now.
Yeah.
Kickers.
We'd be happy to go down there and do a show, hey, Ed?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll get Wade to sign off on that.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
First class only.
Okay, so let's pause here now for we're going to take fan questions, right? And Josh, we're going to do the jersey giveaway.
Yep, right.
We are giving away a Drew Wolitarsky jersey. Normally I would hold it up, but we don't have a physical one right here.
Yeah, that's correct. So we're going to be giving away the Drew Wolitarsky jersey this week. We already gave away a Strev jersey on his first appearance. So this week we got the Wolitarsky jersey.
Got a surplus. We got to get rid of them things, man.
We had lots of people hanging out, by the way. So we got lots of great questions in the chat. Lots of
Sandy's on here. I know Sandy's on here. Is she on here?
Well, we'll see. I guess we'll see. So if you want to win the Wolitarsky jersey, all you have to do is put Wally in chat. WOLI. Wally in chat.
Wally chat.
Just
GDT.
once, not a whole bunch of times. Just once.
Wally. If you don't know how to spell it, you get it wrong though.
That's right. And then a random winner will be selected. And also I have to apologize quick because when you guys were telling that crazy story in the beginning about the snakes, the mics were muted. So everyone could see like
the energy,
hands, and they knew that some crazy stuff was going down. So that's my bad.
Okay, we will recreate it quickly. They were in Hamilton. I asked the best and worst road trip. He said it was the same place. And they were in Hamilton.
It was the funniest experience of my life. Bus stop, Hamilton, downtown, two giant pythons on people's necks. We're like, where are we, bro? Like, you want to pet my snake? I'm like, no. They smell fear. And I'm like, yeah, I'm scared.
Dude, and then we went to that mall that was attached to the hotel too, and I've never seen that many motorized like chairs in my life. And everyone's just like, you're gonna lose today. We're like, what is going on right now?
Messed up Mario Kart race, bro. Like, it was crazy, bro.
It was scary, bro.
I've always said that I wanted to have the motorized scooter repair shop business in Hamilton.
Buddy,
I'm not off base. There is a lot of motorized.
A lot of
them. Okay. Thank you.
Good observation.
That was great recreation. Thanks for that. The people were asking for a recreation actually, so I'm glad we got to it.
Good.
But we'll throw a question to you guys while the entries for the jersey are rolling in. And this question's from Brandon Williams, and he wants to know from both of you: does the chip in the ball change things for quarterbacks and receivers? I know place kickers around the league aren't a fan.
No, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. I didn't even know it was in there until Serge was talking about it one day. And look, he got the chip changed. He's been dialed in. Whatever he's got to do, that's great. Quarterbacks, I didn't even know it was in there.
I haven't. The only thing I know is I can't throw the ball in the crowd anymore, or I get fined $500. I'm not trying to lose that money, bro. Yeah, that feeds my family.
You know,
that's groceries for a week.
That's
we need to do better, Canada. That's too much money for groceries. What are we doing?
Okay, there's a good rant in the middle of an answer.
My bad.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Good.
Okay, next question is while the entries are still rolling in. This is from Monica, and she wants. She says, "Let me hear some of Drew's favorite books."
Whoa.
We could.
Okay, yeah.
It could be the whole show.
Buckle up.
All right, let's go. Starting in 8th grade. Okay. Yo, I'm a big Jack Kerouac fan. I always put people on a Jack Kerouac. If you're like, if you like that kind of free thinking, I would just say like kind of crazy writing, like Hunter S. Thompson vibe, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like that gonzo writing. I'm a big fan of that stuff. Just people writing what's on their minds, bro. But yeah, I would say like anything by Jack Kerouac is going to be a good hitter for you.
Are you the founder of the Blue Bomber Book Club?
Yeah, so me and Evan Holm last year, we like came up with the idea to do a book club for the team. So we founded that. This year I've taken the step back to the just CEO, not the president.
Oh.
Yeah, because I got a lot going on my plate this year, having a baby, wife's pregnant and all that stuff. But Evan Holm's running it now, so we still have it alive and it's thriving.
What's the book right now?
Right now it's called Operation Hail Mary. It's a sci-fi about, I don't want to get too far into it, but it's a sci-fi, bro. I'm not going to go.
Sam's reading that.
Yeah. He's part of the
Blue Bomber Book Club.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Okay.
All right, we got so we have our winner for the Wolitarsky jersey, and again, you have to be able to come and pick it up at the ticketing counter in the Bomber store. And the winner of that jersey is Riley Dewick. Riley Duick.
Oh,
Congratulations.
I know that name.
Got
bro.
yourself a Drew Wolitarsky jersey. So
Do
congratulations.
you wear a cowboy hat all the time, Riley? Is that him?
We'll see if he gets back to us in chat.
Sick.
But thanks everybody for hanging out. We're gonna end this segment with one more question for Strev this time, and then we'll move on along. And this question is from Laura, and she says, "People talk about how special the culture is in the Bombers locker room. Having been in a bunch of NFL rooms, what's the difference?"
Well, every team's different. Every team's its own thing. The one thing that the teams that have been successful and the teams that have had great cultures is the guys find time to get to know their teammates outside of football. And it might be weird for people out there to think about, but football is a job, right? Like, so this is when we're at work, but everybody inside this building has a completely separate life outside of this building. And we all have things we love to do outside of football. We have other priorities. We have other mouths to feed. So the more you can find out about those things in other guys' life and what makes them tick, that just makes your bond that much stronger when it's time to step onto that field. Because although this is a job, what goes on that field is different than a lot of jobs. Like, the bond you have with those guys is going to be the separator in those tight games. When you can count on that guy and you know what makes that guy tick. And Wally spoke on it earlier, how to motivate guys, because every guy's different. Some guys, I find it easier to motivate guys if you know who they are.
Yeah. What they're going
and,
through.
And what makes them tick. So, that's what separates good cultures from not good cultures. And the teams that I've been on that haven't had great cultures, it's like, all right, hey, good day at work. I'll see you guys later. Right? Like, no one's organizing stuff outside the team. Everyone's just kind of going their own separate ways. And it ends up showing up in those crunch time of games. So that's always been something I've loved about here. And like, even I remember I talked to you, I think it was the day when I first stepped back into the building and I walked in, I walked into the weight room and I think Willie was in there and Claw was in there and Dembski, and just like, it's love, like, you genuinely see those people, you love them, you care about them. Like, you talk about their families and their kids and their wives and what's going on in their life. And so that's what makes this place so special.
It's interesting you say that, because a lot of guys would come in and punch the clock and then they go home, right? That's like you said, that's the job aspect of it. But I've heard stories over the years of maybe Jackson Jeffcoat talked about the D lineman had a board game night, and
they got tons of stuff going on.
The
here.
old lineman Jeff Gray cooks used to
they
cook
do
for
dinners.
yeah.
Yep,
And so
that's
what
awesome.
are the other examples of how you get to know a guy outside of the office, so to speak?
I mean, like,
there's
Going for a beer.
There's all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, going for a beer. Like, the opportunities on the road are great opportunities
Yeah.
because guys are away from their families. So it's like, all right, let's all go out to dinner and spend some time together when we can. Kenny Lawler just had a barbecue at his place the other day where I think the whole offense was there. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's just small stuff where you get to sit down and we don't have to talk about what's going on first down. We talk about what's going on in your life. Like, what are you watching on Netflix? Like, what are you doing outside this place? So those are the opportunities where you get to know guys and get to build those bonds.
I forgot to ask you guys. I had written down this because obviously you're a huge music guy. I know you're a huge music guy. Give me a couple recommendations. What do you like right now that you're listening to that you would say,
Honestly,
give it a
like,
try?
Shrev's been putting me on some cool stuff, bro. He's been listening to this Thames girl, bro. Like, he's been putting me on some crazy R&B. Like, he's changing, the way I approach the music a little bit too. So that's pretty nice, bro. And I've been sticking with my classics. Like, we were on a big Jim Croce kick this camp. Like, he was getting us through some dark days, bro. Like, tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. And like, we just needed to hear that some days, bro. Like, so that was a big one for me. I'm loving the singer-songwriters right now. It's the surf rock kind of stuff. And putting that on, like, just driving, it's just really nice. Windows down, summer vibes.
Beautiful.
I'm always on the Thames. Like, I'm always putting everyone on the Thames, which is like kind of like Afro beats. But I'm all over the place. Like, I've kind of been vibing with Luke Combs' new album. It's got some good like father sung songs on there. So I don't know why that's been hitting for me lately. I really like West Coast rap. So I've been listening to like a lot of Dom Kennedy lately and Larry June. So I don't know. Anyone can find something out of all those four people that you might like. It might not be for all of you, but something in there might hit for you.
Yeah, right on. Okay. We've done the jersey giveaway and fan questions. We'll take some more at the end if we have some time, right, Josh? Okay. The last part here, and this show was designed to the concept was to kind of introduce players to fans and maybe talk a little bit less about the X's and O's. But I have to bring this up because, I mean, the team's 2-5. People are getting frustrated. You two guys, like I say, have this energy and vibe about you. So I asked a couple players about this today. What's what allows you to keep the faith? Why do you know that this is going to be good?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, it's about the guys in this building. That's what it's about. And sure, 2-5, everyone can point to that. But I can tell you, the people in this building are not concerned about the noise outside of this building. We're concerned about what we have to do on a daily process to get better. We have a lot of veteran guys on this team who have won a lot of football games and have been in some tough situations in seasons, whether it's injuries, whether it's starting bad starts. Like, this is a long, long season. There's going to be tough stretches. But again, when you have people in this locker room that love each other and know what it takes to win games and win championships and know how to grind and get better, that's what you rely on. Like, you're not going to overcome 2-5 in one day, in one game. So that's why you have to focus on what you can do today to get better, what you can do tomorrow to get better. We're not going to overcome this in one day, in 1 week, but over time, if you continue to focus on the people in this locker room and what you need to do to improve, then over the course of the season, because it's a long season, you start to get better. You start to improve as a team. You start to win some of those close games and make those plays in crucial moments. And that's what we're focused on. Like, so we know it's going to be a process, but just hang with us. We've got some great players in this team. We've got some great leaders. We've got coaches that we trust, coaches that trust us. So we're going to continue to work and continue to grind and do what it takes to get better.
Yeah. What do you think?
You know what? I don't even think I need to say anything. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, legit. Like, what am I going to say after that? That was exactly what I would have said.
Well, so I talked to you last week about this because people have talked about this team aging out, which is ridiculous when you look at the roster now, all the new faces in there.
Very young.
You talked about how, maybe you talk about this, about how the younger guys are helping give you energy and maybe a different perspective on being a leader and teaching.
Absolutely. You know, you throw a young puppy, you know, in a group of old dogs, bro, and they're going to juice up because that young puppy's going to push them. And, you know, this is true, and Strev can attest to this, but, you know, when you have 3 starters go out, you have more responsibility on your shoulders. And I've actually really enjoyed, you know, teaching and Strev teaching. Like, I remember at our preseason game, like, me and Strev had this meeting, you know, before the game. Like, we had every single rookie in there, and we're just like the coaches, bro. Like, we literally felt like coaches, and we're going out there to play the next day. And it was just a kind of a cool feeling to be that and to know that someone did this for me when I got here, and now I have the opportunity to pass the torch. Like, guys were chirping me at the practice the other day, like, man, Wally, old man, he's 32. He look 32. I'm like, man, I'm 29, but hey, you know, it's just like, that's the kind of jokes we used to give Dressler. Like, we used to call Dressler grandpa, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. If someone called me grandpa, I'd be like, man, what the hell? Like, hey, Gramps. He was like, hey, guys, how you doing? Like, we're just in that stage, and it's kind of a beautiful thing, bro. And, like, I just want guys to know what it feels like to win, bro. That's why I'm going to keep working. That's why I'm going to keep doing this. That's why I'm going to bring my same energy every single day, because the best leaders I've ever seen in my life have just done it, bro. They haven't talked. They didn't talk. They just went and did it.
Yeah. It is kind of an interesting leadership kind of question, and I'll ask you this, Chris, because not every room is stocked with guys like that. Like, there's lots of cases where a guy comes into training camp, and if he's playing the same position as you, you don't even talk to him. I've seen that with teams because it's me versus him. But then when you get into this team dynamic, and he might be replacing me one day, but I'm going to make him better. It's a little bit different about this team too, don't you think?
Well, and it goes both ways, right? Like, so for him, it's like, okay, there's a selflessness in coaching up the younger guys.
Right.
But on the other end, for the younger guys, they got to be coachable and they got to be able to be coached. And that's one thing about this team that I love is, like, we have the veterans like this guy and, you know, Dembski and Claw and you know, those guys who are coaching guys up, but the rookies, they want to be coached. And, like, you can coach them hard and say, like, hey, I think you should have done this. There's no ego. There's no, you know, none of that. Like, they're like, yeah, we got you. And so that's the cool thing about this dynamic is we have guys that want to coach up guys and guys that are able to be coached. And, you know, I will say just specifically about him, I have a different perspective on this team than a lot of guys because I left for 5 years and I came back. And one of the cool things for me has been able to see how guys have developed as leaders within this building, like him specifically. Like, when I left in 2019, like, yeah, technically it's your 3rd year on paper, but like, we still had Darv, like Dresser had just left, like, you know, like Matt Nichols was still here. Like, so we had guys who were leaders, and he was not in the prominent leadership position he is today. But then coming back 5 years later and, like, seeing who he is and what he means to this team, and, like, it's really cool to see that development. And same thing with like Kenny Lawler. Like when I was here in 18 and 19, like he was just starting to like play in 19. Like he wasn't the leader he is now. And now he means a lot to that room. Even though he's been injured, like he's still in the building, man. And like his presence goes a long way with the young guys. Same thing with, Willie Jefferson. Like Willie was probably more of a leader than those two other guys that I mentioned, but like now he breaks us down every day. So just guys like that who have continued to grow in their leadership roles within this team. It's just like been really cool for me to, come back and see that. And then for me personally, it's been really cool to see like myself kind of grow into a leader in my own way. Like even though I'm not the starter, like it's really just special for me to see guys respect my opinion and like respect if I coach them. It's just because I love them and I just want to win games. And I think guys know that. And, I think anytime you're in a leadership role, you can never ask guys to do something that you're not willing to do. And so that's always been my mindset from a leadership perspective is like, hey, maybe I'm not starting or maybe I'm not taking all the reps, but when I'm in there and when I'm on the field, like I'm going to go as hard as I can and you're going to see that. And that's all I'm going to ask of you guys. And I'm going to be hard on myself. I'm going to be hard on you. But that's just because we all want to win and we all want to get better. So that's always been my mindset. It's just been cool to see so many guys in this team grow as leaders over the years.
You both you guys have this skill, and it's a skill of living in the moment and appreciating the moment, right? Like not getting too far ahead or worrying too much about what's behind. And it's a skill. I'll give you guys credit. But just to kind of bring this full circle, it's kind of cool how this is all transformed the way it has from when you guys first met at Minnesota and you're having cake and root beer at 8 a.m. And you know what I mean? And then all these years later, here you are in Canada playing for a team that you might not have known existed back in those Minnesota days, right?
We did not
and
know.
Here it's wild.
That was pretty much the gist of our conversation on the plane back from Regina. Like we're just kind of debriefing, and like I was talking about like my time at South Dakota. He didn't know any of it, and I'm just like, man, like how have the stars aligned for us to be on the same professional team at two different points in our life and go to Minnesota? I'm from Chicago. He's from Cali. Like completely different worlds, and it's just. Sometimes the stars align, man. Sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways, and you just got to listen with that and flow with that. And thankful I met this guy, man. Like, that's one of my best friends.
Awesome. Any more questions, Josh?
Oh, we got questions for days. We got lots of questions.
How are we doing for time? We're good?
We're doing okay. We're just hitting about just under 45, just about 45 minutes.
Okay.
So we're doing great. You ready for questions?
Still.
I'm ready.
All right. Let's... So we had two questions, two New York Jets related questions, one for each of you. First one for Wally, and this person, I didn't scroll back to the question, but it said, what did you think when you saw Strev lining it up in the preseason when he was playing for New York?
Dude, I mean, when they were chanting his name, like that was like, and I remember him texting me. Well, first of all, like when he got into the league in the first place, I remember him texting me like, bro, I haven't been getting any reps, blah, blah. I was there for him. Like, I'm not getting any reps. And then all of a sudden he was like, dude, like, I mimight make this team, bro. Yeah. And I was like, dude, let's go. Like, I'm crossing my fingers. Next day, he's like, bro, I made the team. I was like, let's go. Like, because
I
was in AZ with you before any of that happened, bro. And we had that porch sesh. And like, that was like a crazy porch sesh. Yeah. Like, guitar was out and everything. And like, we were just like manifesting, bro. Like, we were manifesting our lives from that point. My car broke down. Like, this is fate again, bro.
Yeah.
This is fate again. Story. I'm on a road trip. Like, I just went through this breakup, deadly breakup. And this is 2020. So, like, I don't know if we're going to have a season, but I'm like, I got to get out of Cali. I just need to get to Winnipeg, like, and start my life. Like, let's just go do this. Worst case, I'm just in Winnipeg. So I'm driving to Winnipeg. I text Trev. I'm like, yo, I'm going through AZ. Like, let's hang for a day. I'm in the Mojave, bro. And, like, I, like, try to pass the semi, like, turbo, and I hear, and, like, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, come on, bro. No way. So I'm like, oh, God, engine light comes on. I'm like, dude, I need to find a mechanic. So I call Strav. I'm like, yo, dude, my car, like, just pooed on the freeway. Like, do you mind if I chill with you?
Like, I'm like 45 minutes away.
Like, I might need to spend the night, bro, like, just to get this car. So you're like, dude, of course. Like, where are you at? And I end up being, 45 away from you? So I'm like, bet. I drop this car off with the mechanic. He's like, yeah, we'll take a look at it. So I go to Strev's, spend the night. Next day, mechanic calls me. He's like, yeah, like, we don't really know what's going on, man. Like, we don't know, bro. Like, we don't really know what's going on. Like, it might take a couple more days. It's going to be the weekend. We're not going to be able to get to this till Monday. I was like, bro. So whatever. I'm like, yo, Strev, like, straight up. You're like, dude. And you were like, dude, I don't care. Like, I'm going to OTAs in the morning or, like, working out or whatever.
Yeah, I was just working out. Like, I was lonely, man. I would just work out and
you're like,
just
dude,
hanging out. Like, I didn't
vibe. Like, let's just chill. I was like, Fuck,
I had the guitar, like
I'm
we're
like,
hanging
screw
out.
it, man. Let's do it. So, and then being like 5 days, bro. Like we just went on these gnarly hikes up the mountains. Like talked about the future, about what we were gonna do, and I don't know. Like it was just a transforming period, bro. Like we both, I feel like, needed that like boost of like, hey, like we're in the same position, not the same position, but like we're both trying to go after something, and like I don't even know if I'm gonna have a season. Like I'm gonna have to reinvent my life, maybe possibly in the next 6 months here. Like I don't know, man. That's just how fate works, and.
Dude, the funny part about that story, if I can jump in,
Jump.
So it was just me. Like I had just moved to Arizona, and I was living in Denver at the time. Like it was actually crazy. I was trying out for NFL teams, and I was living in my cousin Parker's basement in his spare closet on a mattress on the floor. And I'm like going to like Arizona, like work out for teams, dude. So I'm like, you know what? All right, OTAs are gonna start. It's like March 15th. I'm just gonna move to Arizona, get some throws with the guys before OTAs start. 2 days later, the country shuts down, and I'm just in Arizona. There's no OTAs, so I'm just living out there. I don't know anyone. You can't get anything from the grocery store because people are just raiding everything. So, and it's also just me. Like I'm a very simple guy. I don't need much. I didn't even have any mugs in my house. So
Mattress on the floor said a lot.
Wally comes and stays with me, and this man is a tea fiend. Like he will drink tea. I wake up in the morning. He's like, "Bro, do you have any more tea?" I drank 8 bowls of tea last night. Literally just a bowl. He
didn't have a coffee mug, bro. I was drinking out of the
bowl. And so I just always remember that. I had to go restock on the tea.
I was double Earl Grey every bowl, bro. I had like 8 bowls.
Yeah.
And now you still drink out of a bowl. Probably.
That shit was like, it felt like very natural to drink out of a bowl like that. I kind of liked it, bro.
Okay.
But back to the original question. One thing I remember about that situation from you specifically was after the Jets thing, and like they were chanting my name, and I just remember you like texting me and like commenting on my Instagram, like one of the top feelings in the world, bro. I remember you saying that, and just like I know what that meant to me.
Coach was like gave you the game ball, bro. Like he they like shouted you out to the team. I was like, dude, like, bro, like 2 years.
Moment.
I mean, like that's a that's like what you dream of, bro. That's a dream.
I was scrolling back through my Instagram the other day. I was on the plane. I didn't have anything to do. I was just going back through old pictures, and I was like, I posted a picture after each of those games because it was going well. And then I remember coming to like the last preseason game, and like, you know, they're chanting Streveler in the locker room, and like they hand me the ball, and it was one of those feelings, like the smile on my face is just the most raw smile where like I'm trying to hold it in because like I'm not trying to like let everyone know that I'm like this, but at the same time it's like unbelievable the way things worked out, and I still got released afterwards, but like that's not what I think about. I just think about all the work that led up to that and how amazing just that whole situation was, and you know, learned a lot about myself, and obviously he knows what that whole situation meant to me. So and then as I scrolled even further down the Instagram, I came across a picture from the first preseason game I ever had in Winnipeg, and I sent it to you. And we took a picture in the locker room after the game. It's still up there. And I said, first completion for 7 yards. Sound familiar? I threw him my first completion for 7 yards. And the funny thing about that was the one game I started at Minnesota, my first completion went to him for 7 yards.
What?
And so the juxtaposition of like, okay, we're there at Minnesota, first completion, 7 yards. I come up, I throw him like a ball hick for 7 yards, first play, and we took a picture after the game. And so it's just cool to like, I was just reminiscing on like, I don't know, where we've
look
been.
so young too. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. The next question is from Richard, and he says, "Hey Drew, my wife and I are doing a California trip for our honeymoon in a few weeks. Is there any lesser known spots we should check out?"
Carpinteria Beach. Quiet little like small town on the coast. They're on your way there on the 126 highway. You got the best strawberries in the world at any of these stops, bro. You have like fresh fruit, fresh orchards on the way. And it's just a quaint little town. It's quiet. You can go to Santa Barbara from there too, but it's like you're going to have a beach with way less people, way better, cleaner air. It's like it's such a vibe. There's such a good candy shop there too.
Right on.
Tourism California,
he knew
too,
right
right?
away.
Dude, no, for sure.
Next question is for Strev, and they say, "What's Aaron Rodgers like as a teammate?"
I've talked about him a lot, man. He's an awesome teammate, and obviously you never know what to expect, like because media is just going to paint a picture however they want to paint it, and so you always try to go into situations where you're meeting guys that get an image portrayed of them in the media with an open mind, and like from day one, just a great teammate, man. Like I always tell the story of like we all went to see John Wick 4 or whatever, with the newest one that came out, and like he's like a huge Nicolas Cage and John Wick and Keanu Reeves fan, which is kind of crazy. But so like we went and saw that movie. We went down to the city one night, had dinner, like went out, like just a great teammate, man. And that stuff, again, to what I spoke about earlier, spending time outside the building. That's a guy that understands how important that stuff is. And he would always go out of his way to like have conversations with guys at lunch. I remember specifically a couple of really cool conversations him and I had just sitting together at the lunch table, picking his brain about his career and his life. So I don't know. I just feel very fortunate to get to like have spent so much time around so many like legends and cool guys, people that I look up to, man. Like it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right on. The next question is from Janet, and it's for both of you. And they say, Wally and Strev, what's your favorite part about playing for Winnipeg?
Oh man, dude, I really love like running into fans outside of the stadium, like just randomly talking to people. Like, I mean, I've gotten offered a lot of meals and like rare opportunities that you just don't get anywhere else. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of cool people I've met, a lot of connections, especially in the music world. Like people have really welcomed me in, and like I feel like being a Bomber has allowed me to like get my foot through the door and do kind of more fun venues and do like block parties with people. And I'm about to do one this, during the bye week. Like I just gotten to do like really cool things because of being a Bomber, and I'm just really grateful for that, dude.
Yeah, I would say it's also the people. The support that the city gives us is pretty remarkable. And even right now, like, are we sitting in the best position? No, but the fans are still positive. They're still excited. I guarantee the game on August 1st, there's going to be a lot of fans here screaming, getting loud for us. So that stuff really goes a long way. And, people outside this building, the fans, like they're amazing. They show us support. And obviously the people inside the building, I can't say enough about how many good people there are. So that's ultimately anything is like, I feel like the people is what make it special. And that's what you remember is you remember those relationships with people and how they made you feel and how you affected them. And wins and losses are great, but when you meet great people, that really sticks with you forever.
For sure.
Well said.
This next question is for Drew, and it says, where does your love for music come from? How did that start?
Dude, you know what? Like, I always was singing as a kid. My brothers were always diss me, like, dude, you have the worst voice. Like, dude, stop singing. Like, but I was always singing. And I think in high school, like, it's funny because all my friends in high school were, like, not athletes. They were skaters. They were, like, musicians, like, those kind of guys. I feel like for me, like, it was a way to, I don't know, get away from football. I felt like I had a lot of football on my mind in high school and all that. So I don't know, like I think maybe just my friends groups and the music they were showing me as kids and, like burning CDs for people. Like that was a way I communicated with my friends growing up. Like I would always be burning discs. If I had like a crush on a girl, like I'd make her a CD, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, it was a way to communicate without having to blatantly say what was on your mind. I think people still use it like that. And I don't know. It's a more raw form of emotion and a raw form of vulnerability, and I think I just like to use it as a communication device. Honestly.
Can you just sorry to interrupt?
No, you're good. Go.
Can you build on that story you've told before about when you moved into your place in Winnipeg and there was a guitar? That's how you started playing, right?
Yeah, I didn't play guitar until I got to Winnipeg. So I owe Winnipeg a lot for that opportunity because to learn guitar, you need a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a space to do so. And so when I first got here, I didn't have any friends. I missed camp. I got here in like game 5. I didn't even know anyone on the team. And Betty Herniak, who was my friend, and I actually stayed with her son in London one time. Again, like Winnipeg opportunities, like crazy. Like, I stayed with this woman's family in London, not Ontario, like London, England. Okay, so like really cool story there too. Betty, great woman. And she basically was moving to London, and she's like, hey, anything in the flat is yours. Like, what do you want? Saw this beat up Yamaha, and I was like, I think it's time. I think it's time to do this. Like, I have nothing else to do out here. So I got that guitar, learned a couple chords. The rest was history, bro.
Can I tell a quick
And this
Wally
guy, yeah,
musical
go ahead,
story?
go ahead.
Because I wasn't there for that, but I was there for the genesis of playing in front of people. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the name of the place, but I remember the first open mic you did, bro. What was the name of that place?
It's shut down. It isn't St. Boniface. It's shut down.
Okay.
Now, but I want to say it's the garage, Le Garage.
Okay, yeah, it was this French
Le
place,
Garage.
and I just remember like how like worked up, and I don't know if nervous is the word, but
Hella nervous, bro.
You described it as like the game day adrenaline, like times 10 at that point. And I just remember going to that open mic, and I don't know, there was maybe like 10, 15 people in there. Like they weren't there they were just there having dinner.
Yeah.
And it's just been so cool to see like how he's grown in his confidence in music, because that was obviously like a really big step. And then his first gig ever at Earl's, which I got to go to too. And like We told that story the other day where your string broke and I had to like run to the store quick and like get you a new string. Like,
crazy,
Trev, I'm
bro.
playing with 4 strings here. I need a new one. So it's just been cool to see how he's grown. Like he played a song in front of the team like for camp, and obviously he's doing gigs all over the city and writing music, and just the way he's grown. It's just been so cool to see starting there and where he is now.
Yeah,
It's
real
awesome.
talk,
Man.
real talk, bro. There since the get.
Right
That was
on.
a crazy time.
We're gonna probably end with 1 or 2 more. This one's from Callie, and she says, "I'm a season ticket member from Kenora, and I'm wondering have either of you have been fishing or to Kenora?"
Oh yeah, and I'm headed back out there for this bye week. I got a little spot. I don't want to say exactly where, but it's over there in Kenora. I love it out there.
I got to get out there.
Bro.
That's a Lake of the Woods area.
Yeah.
Everyone always
Beautiful.
says you got to get to Lake of the Woods. I think I might go out there for the second bye week. I got to get back to Arizona for this bye week, but maybe in September, get out there, get some fall weather. I heard it's beautiful.
I'm going back out for sure.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we have from fans. So, I'll turn it back over to Ed to close us out here.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for the fans for joining us, those great questions, and congrats to the person who won the Wolitarsky jersey.
Congrats.
That's really cool. And I say this every week. None of you guys have to do this. So for you guys to give up an hour and come in and visit is awesome. And I think the fans appreciate it. I sure do. So thanks a ton for that. Remember, everybody, every Tuesday at 3 o'clock on the Blue Bombers YouTube page, like and subscribe and ring the bell, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 3. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Ed.
Appreciate
You're the best,
you, Ed.
bro. We
You're a
love
legend,
Ed,
man.
man. Ed's awesome, bro. Love you.